Hi friends, Toya here at Toya Talks, and Happy New Year to you. I am so excited to be here in a new 2024. If you are anything like me, I still am kind of in 2023. It doesn't really feel like we are in 2024 yet, but nevertheless, here it is. And today I really wanted to share with you guys a practice that I have done every year since 2019. I've got my papers here, and it's an alternative to resolutions, right? So a lot of times, every year a new year comes and we make all these resolutions. I'm going to lose 10 pounds, and, I'm going to launch that business, and I'm going to finally get my house in order, or I'm going to get my finances in order, all of those things. And, unfortunately, the failure rate on those resolutions tends to be really, really high after the motivation of the first couple of weeks of the new year goes by, right? But I have found a new practice, which is called the one word practice. And I have been doing this since 2019, and it has completely transformed the way that I approach the new year, the way that I create resolutions for myself. And I've shared this practice with a few, friends and family members, and they've loved it so much that I wanted to bring it to you here today and really just hope that it can help some of you. So it's called the one word practice. What it is instead of creating a resolution, right? You choose one word that almost is a theme for your year, and you focus on that word and you reflect on it throughout the year and how that word applies to your life and what you're going through, both positively as well as challenges, and how that word applies to the goals that you have for yourself, right? So I'll show you what I mean. Like I said, I've been doing this since 2019. So literally, I'll show you my words. In 2019, my one word was focus, right? And then you can see I've got a lot scribbled on here. I'll show you what that means. But 2019, my one word was focus. In 2020, my one word was integrity, right? In 2021, my word was excellence. And 2022 and 23 was actually a 2-year one word, and that was the word wisdom. And I knew going into this word that I was going to need more than a year on this. And then now that we are in 2024, and my one word for 2024 is grace. So I really would have to say that this practice has transformed my life in a way that resolutions never could, right? So the way that this works for me is, when I first started, I didn't put as much intention into it as I do now. So I'll kind of give you the nitty gritty. But really, it starts with just taking time to think about the year, the upcoming year, as well as the year that you just had. And what I do a lot of times is I pray and I fast on this. If you're just starting out, or if prayer and fasting doesn't resonate with you, really just thinking about what themes have come up for you recently, right? Like, have you been receiving more messages that you need to be consistent, right? Or that you need to have courage, right? Or more faith, right? When I started, focus was my word, because at that time, that was what I felt like I needed to do. I just needed to gain focus and clarity in my life. So that was the word that I picked. And at that time, I don't think I even knew enough to pray and fast on it. But I heard about this practice and I was so excited, and I wanted to try it, and it really has been great. And I'll say one of the reasons that it's great is because, to the point of the word focus, it really helps focus you on a word or very short phrase. I would recommend a word. But it focuses you in a way that you can apply all of your goals to that. So, and you are viewing your goals in the context of your one word. So, for example, using that word focus again, I wanted to lose weight. That was a goal of mine. I didn't make that my resolution though, right? But I still created a list of goals, and I had a business goal that I wanted to accomplish. I wanted to launch a business, and there have been some financial and career goals that I wanted to achieve. So, but I felt like I was kind of all over the place, right? So at that time, my word was focus. And then I looked at those goals of wanting to lose weight, wanting to start a business, wanting to, make different moves in my finances. And I started thinking to myself, what does it look like to apply focus in these areas, right? So how much weight do I really want to lose? And what am I going to do to lose the weight, right? And if you followed me for any time, you know that I did end up losing almost 100 pounds through intermittent fasting, right? But at that time, I was still all over the place, you know what I mean, with trying to decide how I was going to lose weight, what I was going to do, Weight Watchers or South Beach or calorie counting, right? I'd done all the things. So the one word really focuses you with a different perspective or a certain perspective on your goals. And that focus on your goals actually helps you to achieve more of those goals, right? So I'm just checking my notes here. So like I said, you really want to think about that following year, reflect on the prior year and what words come up for you that you need to focus on. And then lastly, like I showed you with my little papers, I recommend that you decorate, like create something like this for yourself. You can see mine's evolved. It was really basic in the beginning. And then I've been actually reusing this leaf pattern for quite some time. As you can see, this year, the wisdom year, I changed it up. And I actually used this symbol. This is a wisdom knot that I had found and just was inspired to put that on here. And then you can see for 2024, I've done a little bit more with that. But decorate it. I do these on Canva. I love Canva. It is such a great just graphic design tool. And there's a ton of templates. You don't have to have a ton of skill with it. But, get your word, my one word 2024. Put, your word of the year. Mine's is grace. And then hang it up somewhere that you can see it and really reflect on that, right? I will just, as you can see, there's a little bit more than just the one word for me on here. So I'll just quickly kind of show you what this is. Like I said, you can keep it simple and just pick your word. You don't have to do all of what I'm doing here. This has been evolved since 2019 for me, right? But for me this year, during my time of just prayer and meditation and fasting, the word grace kept coming up consistently for me, right? Like a need for me to be able to be open to receiving more of, God's grace for me and in my life. And also to be able to just have more grace with myself. That's actually something that's come up a lot more lately. And I'm sure many of you can probably resonate with that. A lot of us can be really, really hard on ourselves. I tend to hold myself to a really high standard. So this word grace has already just in the first week of 2019 come to mean a lot to me. But I also have additionally at the top here, it says affirmation. And this is my yearly affirmation. And every year I usually do come up with some type of short little tagline. I'm a poet at heart, right? I love wordplay. And so I usually will take the year and put it together in some type of affirmation phrase. So for me, 2024 is my year of more, right? So that is my phrase. And, on my paper that's actually upstairs on the wall in my room, I have, year of more what, right? And then under it, I have scribbled year of more abundance, more clarity, more focus, more blessings, more peace, more love, more joy, right? More faith, all of those things. So that's why you see little things, notes scribbled all over these, right? Because as I hang it on the wall, when things come to me, I will jot that down on my paper, and it becomes really almost like a full year's reflection of notes and ways that I can apply that word or have applied that word to my life, right? So, just to get into the last two things on here, you'll also see that there is a scripture here. So in my prayer and meditation time, again, this scripture came up on my Bible app in the TPT version, which is the Passion Translation. And I love that translation. It is specifically worded with the love of God for God's people, right? And I don't often read in that translation, but every now and again I will. And this scripture in James came up for grace. And the scripture says, if anyone longs to be wise, ask God for wisdom and he will give it. He won't see your lack of wisdom as an opportunity to scold you over your failures, but he will overwhelm your failures with his generous grace. And that is from James 1, verse 5 in the Passion Translation. And I've read that scripture many times in the King James Version. But that line, he will overwhelm your failures with his generous grace, that really has just come to mean a lot to me and played perfectly in with this word. So when I read that, I was like, that's it. That's going to be my scripture for the year. And this is actually the first year that I have a scripture for the year to go with my word. But like I said, if you continue this practice, it will evolve with you. And then lastly is my word affirmation. So like I shared with you, my yearly affirmation, and then I have an affirmation that I tie to my word. And my word affirmation is to live by grace. Know that God's favor follows you everywhere you go. And that is just going to be the affirmation that I kind of use for me to encourage me in those moments, right? When I need to remember that I have to have grace for myself and be willing to accept grace, right? So I just want to take a few minutes to share that practice with you guys today. Let me know if you try it and if it is helpful for you. Like I said, it really has been transformative for me. And as I shared, you don't get rid of your goals, right? You just view your goals in the context of this word that you are applying for your year. And then the very last thing that I will also show you is that at the end of the year, I take the word down from the wall and I just take a moment to journal, right? Or just write out how my year was with this word, right? So for integrity, that was my one word for 2020. And then on the back, I start 2020 was my year of integrity. And then, I'll just read to you my first sentence. To me in 2020, integrity was a returning to myself, reestablishing my foundation in myself and my ability to do all things through Christ, who is my strength and my foundation, right? And then I just kind of go through on how integrity applies in my business, in my family, and, as a parent, in my work, and, just in general, my goals. So I literally, it's so nice when I go all the way back to 2019, I have these yearly reflections that have grown with me. And I have not done my wisdom reflection right. This is going to be a 2-year breakdown. So this, I still will get back to, like I said, 2024 caught me off guard a little bit. So I am still working on reflecting on how wisdom really has helped transform my life over the last couple years and how I applied that. But it's just such a great practice. So let me know if you try it out, and I am excited to see what 2024 and my year of grace has for me. Please share in the comments if you do choose a word, what that word is, and if you have an affirmation or scripture or saying that you are going to associate with that, please share. I would love to see what it is. And then come back to this video throughout the year if you're so inclined and share on how your progress has been with the word. Maybe at the end of the year, I'll do a, you know, my one word kind of group, you know, thing if you guys like it. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Please hit like or subscribe if there was anything that you heard that you liked and that was of value. And if so, also please share. Thanks. Talk soon.